Generally, Luke Fickell told us, when the college football playoff ranking show is on Tuesday, he is sitting outside by his fire pit, not watching. What you missed, Coach, this week was your team is now number 4 and in this moment as we welcome you to college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. So now, Cincinnati, holding the mantle for the underdog, is the hunted by the Pirates of East Carolina, because in the college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One, Cincinnati would have a rematch with Georgia from bowl season last year. It would be Ohio State and Alabama. And according to FPI, Cincinnati is the second most likely team to make the college football playoff as it stands right now, which is very heartwarming to Cincinnati Bearcat fans. Jason Benetti, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra along with you, our entire crew. Look, Cincinnati's in a totally different position now, but the same team with a lot of guys who know how to do this.
Yeah, experienced players in all three phases of this Cincinnati team. On defense, they've rotated as many as 30 players in and out of that lineup. On special teams, they're more than capable of setting up field position and taking advantage of it. And then on offense, we know the dynamic weapons that Cincinnati has. They can go up and down the field against any defense.
You know, interesting stories with the quarterbacks in this game. Des Ridder is 42-5 as a starter, self-described underdog. Holton Ahlers is from Greenville. He tried to help rebuild this program, and they're back into bowl eligibility.
Yeah, two guys that I'm looking forward to seeing play today. Loved watching the film and getting ready for this one.
So it's Cincinnati, it's East Carolina. The Pirates have played them close a couple times in Luke Fickell's tenure. We'll see what happens. We'll kick it next. Greenville, the county seat of Pitt County, North Carolina, the home of one Holton Ahlers, Paul Carcaterra.
That's right, Jason. And Holton Ahlers came to East Carolina for moments just like this to play a team like Cincinnati. He grew up less than 10 miles from this stadium, listening to his father, Morgan, up top as the public address announcer for the Pirates. And Holton's been a Pirate his entire life. And if they're going to have the upset today against Cincinnati, it will be because of him. He's a gunslinger of a quarterback who told me he learned how to play the position in the backyard with his 4 older brothers beating on him. When you watch him play, you'll see a strong-armed quarterback with a backyard football improv mentality. He makes tough plays with his feet, too. He's got a running game now, Andre, to support him. This offense is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, in the last 4 weeks, Clark, he has been ripping it up, leading this team up and down the field, wins in all 4 of those games, and they've been because of Holton Ahlers.
ECU won the toss, and they will hand him the ball. So Holton Ahlers, who grew up in the backyard, some people grow up in the backyard, they want to be Tom Brady. They want to be Brett Favre. They want to be whoever it is. Holton Ahlers grew up wanting to be the ECU quarterback. In a spot like this against a college football playoff presumed team right now in Greenville at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. And off we go on Thanksgiving weekend. And Snead back to receive. He won't get a crack at it. And ECU will have it from the 25-yard line with Holton Ahlers. This team, Andre, in part because of the offense, has won 4 in a row. ECU has been very good this past month.
Yeah, they really have. They found their running attack with Keaton Mitchell along with Rajay Harris, the 2 guys in the backfield that get it done for them. But don't get it twisted. Holton Ahlers is the leader of this football team. As Clark mentioned, if they are going to win today, it's because of his play.
You know, it's interesting, the wind is whipping left to right as you look at it on your screen. So he's throwing into the wind against this very tough Cincinnati defense. This is Keaton Mitchell on first down, and he's got a gain of 2.5. It's Curtis Brooks, the defensive lineman, and they will rotate a lot of dangerous dudes on this defensive line.
Yeah, Brooks is their most talented defensive tackle, guy right in the middle. Hard to move when he gets himself going and really reestablishes the line of scrimmage. Gets great push from right in the middle of that Cincinnati defense.
Holton Ahlers ready to run. And Ehlers is dragged down after just about no gain. It'll be 3rd down and long. And East Carolina this year on 3rd down at 35%, 99th in the country.
Designed quarterback draw for Ehlers. You mentioned he's got some speed and some athletic ability to make those plays, but he's facing a different animal today with Cincinnati on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Got to get to the 35. Ehlers to throw down the middle, knocked away. It's Sauce Gardner, one of the top corners in the country, got a hand in front of Audio Matosho.
Yeah, this is a team that will lock up on 3rd down and long. They'll bring some pressure at times, but they can just lock in man-to-man as Sauce Gardner did there. He's so long, you think you have him beat, those long arms come into the picture.
He just kind of baits you as you watch tape, and we've talked
does.
to Tressel, their defensive coordinator, about that. He enjoys baiting people like that.
He'll give a receiver a step, knowing that he has the makeup speed and length to get himself back in position.
John Young had it blocked. It's blocked by Cincinnati, and the Bearcats will get outstanding field position at the 31-yard line. The Bearcats had a couple of guys in there, and they did block the punt.
They came after him, and you got to expect it when you're down in this end of the field. If you're East Carolina, block the thing up. Bringing one more than the Pirates can block, and they're able to get home. Now, last week, Des Ridder went up top the very first play of the game against SMU for a touchdown. You're in that formation that's similar to last week with Trey Tucker in the slot.
It was Ryan Royer who blocked the punt for Cincinnati, and tremendous field position for the Bearcats. The Alabama transfer Jerome Ford is stonewalled by Aaron Ramsor. It's a short gain on 1st down on a short field.
If you're East Carolina right now, what you're trying to do is not break. You've given up some great field position to Cincinnati, and that ankle already giving Jerome Ford problems as he limps off, but you're trying not to give up the big points, just hold to a field goal attempt here.
Ford top 7 in the country in rushing touchdowns. He was about 75% last week, and now he is off. Ryan Montgomery is in. Des Ridder to throw. Down the middle of the field, and he has a strike across the 15 to Tyler Scott. It's a 1st down, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think this is where Desmond Ridder has really gotten better as a quarterback, and it's from the pocket. You'll see him scan from left to right, all the way back. This is the last, it was the last option in his progression.
And movement on the right side of the line. It's Dylan O'Quinn, the right tackle.
Ball start. Offense. Number 50. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Tell you what, this crowd has filled in very nicely on Thanksgiving Friday and has gotten very loud on this opening drive for Cincinnati.
You would expect Cincinnati to travel down here, and there's one segment of red in the corner. This is all purple and gold.
This is a proud program that hasn't been to a bowl in 7 years. They're going this season. Ridder hands it off, and Montgomery hit initially by Bivens. He's across the 15 to get 4 of the 5 back.
He is a tough runner, 5'10", about 205. And very little drop off when Ford's not in the game. They go McClellan, who is a between the tackles runner, good inside runner, and Ryan Montgomery, kind of a complete back that they like to throw the ball to out of the backfield. They'll run in between the tackles, and he's got a nice little burst to get around, get to the outside, and out leverage the defense.
Cincinnati does have 2 dangerous tight ends they love to use in the red zone.
Big Josh Wiley down here.
Leonard Taylor as well. Ridder looking up top at Alec Pierce. Little stiff arm, and he sacked himself. He went out of bounds. Jeremy Lewis ushered him to the paint, and ECU sets up a 3rd and long.
And Jeremy Lewis is their best pass rusher, according to Blake Harrell, their defensive coordinator. He made the move from tight end last year over to kind of an outside linebacker defensive end type, and has been magical on that side of the ball this year.
Taylor, the tight end, is in the slot for Ritter.
They got Tucker uncovered in the slot. I don't know if I'll give him a running start.
Ritter pressured and sacked. Rick DeBrew, the defensive tackle, absolutely smothered him.
And the way they describe him is that he really moves well. He played as a true freshman, very athletic and quick, and he shows you the quickness there. 2 quick sacks by this East Carolina defense. Beating a double team is what DeBrew did. Unreal. And just what the doctor ordered, a field goal attempt here from East Carolina, from Cincinnati by East Carolina, just holding after giving up some pretty good field position.
Cincinnati only got a couple yards eventually on that drive. Alex Bales for 3 for Cincinnati, and it's no good. ECU holds, and this crowd is electric. You get the feeling the Bearcats are in for a fight today in Greenville. $10 a.m. Eastern, Sunday NFL Countdown, ESPN and the ESPN app. All the early stories, they look like might be talking about a Lions win, but that wasn't to be the case yesterday on Thanksgiving. A lot of big games coming up as Holton Ahlers slings it sidearm on a quick slant to the 35-yard line. And Ryan Jones, the tight end that transferred from Oklahoma, who was a defensive player with the Sooners, gets 9.
They like to move him around a lot, get him in space, and he's tied for the team lead in touchdown receptions with 5. Some sure hands on Ryan Jones.
Yeah, they'll link him up to the formation. They'll put him out wide. He is a dangerous dude, Jones, with over 30 catches this year. Rajay Harris on the run. He's very good after first contact, and he's got a first down. A guy that their offensive coordinator, Donnie Kirkpatrick, called last year to us the next Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, they've got an excellent 1-2 punch at running back. Keaton Mitchell, who started the game, got a carry or so in that first series, and then they come right back with Rajay Harris. But they, you look at the carries that split between them, 157 for Mitchell and 151 for Harris. It's about even.
Two guys that should be in this program for a long while, as Ahlers has another wide open man into Cincinnati territory, and then some. Jones again. Wow, what strength for Ryan Jones to the 42 of Cincinnati.
Boy, running like a grown man through this defense. I mean, excellent timing by Ahlers and a nice route run by Ryan Jones to move the chains. A lot of physicalness at the end of it. Well, you love what you're seeing right now if you're an East Carolina fan.
Boy, safety Cook didn't really stand a chance against the physical presence of Jones. Ahlers behind Audiomatosho and incomplete.
And he's starting to really play some good football, playing the best football of his career at wideout. Want to get him involved along with C.J. Johnson. Everyone knows that he is a receiver that can really hurt the defense. You're getting some nice production from Tyler Snead in the slot. Mix it with Ryan Jones. You got a complete set for East Carolina.
For Mike Houston, who came here from James Madison, where he was a big winner. Ahlers off the pump, got caught behind his lineman, but has Jones one more time in space to the 30-yard line. Another first down for Jones.
Yeah, what you like about Jones is when he catches it, he understands coverages first and foremost. So that's the one thing you like right out of the gate. But then he'll move and make plays after the catch, trying to get to the end zone. And you love receivers that bring the yards after the catch, not looking to go down, but looking to house one.
He is a brute strength guy as well, as there's Snead in motion. And here is the slot man, Snead, to the outside. He's to the 24-yard line, pushed out by Sauce Gardner on a gain of 6.
We've seen Omatosho was targeted. C.J. Johnson, not yet, but the other two that we talked about, Ryan Jones and now Tyler Snead, both the backs have carried the football, starting to spread the love around a lot offensively. That will keep Cincinnati off balance.
5 passes, 1 run for ECU on this drive off the Cincinnati missed field goal, and here's the second run for Rajay Harris. But think about this day, Andre, for Holton Ahlers, the quarterback, who came here to rebuild ECU's football program. He has been the guy in this city since he was like 9. He hit 27 home runs when he was 12 in Little League and still has the Little League record in this city.
That's crazy.
He's been the alpha in this town since he was before his teenage years.
And he gets to kind of go out in a magical way if he's able to pull off this win today against number 4 ranked Cincinnati.
For Snead, on the fringe again. Snead with the catch and run, and downstairs to Kark.
Home run Little League legend, Jason. I know that's right up your alley, being a baseball guy, but also as a football player. He came on the scene late his senior year. Georgia was in the mix, Florida was in the mix, Minnesota out of the Big Ten. He decided to stay home to resurrect this program.
Florida called the day before he committed to ECU. The 2 hats were ECU and NC State. He stayed in Greenville, and he's got a red zone trip for his team here on first down and a low, awkward snap. So second down.
Where the timing was great on the throw to Snead, it was off to the handoff to Rajay Harris. He's got to wait, he's got to slow down, whereas there may have been a hole there by the offensive line, and by the time he approaches the line of scrimmage, because of the timing, it's closed up. So now it brings up second down and long, and let's see if they get the ball in the hands of Snead or maybe even Ryan Jones.
Right now, how big was that stop by the ECU defense?
Huge.
Holton Ahlers ready to cut it loose. Out of the pocket, Ahlers stops and throws it on a bound.
Yeah, very smart. Don't want to give up field position. You don't want to turn the ball over trying to force it into one of these receivers. So go ahead and throw it away and live to fight on third down.
That pressure was from Myjai Sanders, who is such a talented defensive end for Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's just been double teamed and chipped all season long. Offensive coordinators respect number 21 Sanders. Excellent edge rusher.
They'll go empty on 3rd and 10. Ahlers hit as he throws to the end zone and nearly intercepted. It is incomplete. Wilson Huber got the pressure in, and Cook was closest to the ball. Now Ahlers got hit as he threw, and the crowd didn't like it.
I thought maybe it was a little bit late, but that's on time. I mean, he's arriving just as the arm motion of Holton Ahlers is following through. So I think it's a good no call by the officials.
Now Josh Allen had a case last night, but Holton Ahlers doesn't right here. This is into the win for Owen Daffer, who hit the game winner at Navy with time expiring last week.
I was down on the field. It is windy.
This is good. There is a marker down on the kick. We will check and see what the flag is.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. The field goal is good.
Now ECU goes for it on 4th down a lot. No reason to roll the dice like that on 4th and 5. They'll take the 3. ECU will get out of here 3-0.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats. And in part by Duluth Trading Company. Clothing and gear designed and tested to do.
I know Arby's has the meats. Cincinnati had the meats too, obviously, at Thanksgiving dinner. It's a nice spread they got there. Oh, skyline in the background for Thanksgiving. And then travel to ECU, where Cincinnati had to escape 2 years ago. I mean, it was a pick 6 for Sauce Gardner that got Cincinnati the win at East Carolina 2 seasons ago. The Bearcats blew them out in Cincinnati last year, but this ECU team is a different bunch, and it has been games so far to a 3-0 lead over the Bearcats. And and Cincinnati will have good field position on a short kick, but a big hit on the return. Scott just got leveled by Aaron Ramsor. So ECU has tons of energy. Cincinnati has the ball, the number 4 Bearcats, when we come back. Rivalry weekend in college football playoff implications. Some of them are explicit. It's Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. There's the resume for Oklahoma State, which would be bolstered by a win against the Sooners. And also they could be a danger to Cincinnati, or Cincinnati could be a danger to the Cowboys. We'll see what happens in Bedlam. I'll get your thoughts on that later on in the telecast. Cincinnati from the 28 will run it on first down, and right into the teeth of that defense. Ford is back, and he's stopped by Xavier Smith.
Yeah, going to bring up second down and long, and that opening drive for Cincinnati, 2 sacks by this East Carolina defense. Rick DeBrew had a sack, and then Jeremy Lewis after him followed it up. So when obvious passing situations happen, East Carolina can get home with just 4.
They have the top blitz rate in the American while they're at it.
They will come after you, though.
Desmond Ridder, 42-5 as a starter. Pocket crumbled on him. He found his way out, and he's going to set up third down and short for the Bearcats.
Yeah, that's what drives defensive coordinators crazy. Yeah, you're forced to play 11 on 11 with a quarterback with a skill set of Desmond Ridder. And he basically was bottled up, and then all of a sudden he's running for 8 yards.
I mean, that was one of the keys for this ECU defense. Yeah. Keep him in the pocket and contain.
Make him beat you from the pocket.
Call it 3rd and 2. It is Ford, the Alabama transfer, and he does have enough near the 40-yard line. It's first down, Cincinnati.
A pretty good block on the edge by Leonard Taylor. And you mentioned that they've got 2 excellent tight ends, in Josh Wiley and Leonard Taylor. They just mash everything down inside Wiley alongside of Taylor, and that opened up a nice crease for Jerome Ford.
Cincinnati heading to the American Conference title game against Houston. The only thing that's up in the air is where that game will be played. Ridder off play action goes up top for Alec Pierce, who is such a comfortable target for Des Ridder. And Pierce, a smart guy too, mechanical engineering major, Alec Pierce.
Yeah, Malik Fleming was kind of tapped him out of bounds. He's got to make sure that he gets his hands on Alec Pierce. He is built well, strong, and can break tackles. You just can't take for granted that he's going to go out of bounds.
Fast-moving first quarter. Cincinnati trailing with a field goal miss from Alex Bales. Ford will not get it. Ridder will keep it. And Des Ridder to the outside to the 30-yard line. He pulled it back at the last moment, and Wiley with a great block again, gain at 24.
And it's a great play fake by Jerome Ford, because he had myself, and you and myself included.
I was with you.
Pulled. I thought the ball was inside, and East Carolina had it bottled up, and then all of a sudden you're watching Desmond Ridder do his thing on the outside edges. That's where he's so effective. 2 plays already. They weren't running him like that earlier in the year. Now, as the season's kind of progressed, they've allowed him to move the ball a little bit more on the ground.
We just had a chain malfunction for the moment. I mean, I know it's 3-0, but they haven't had that much trouble moving the chains in the first quarter.
2 big runs in Cincinnati already, down close to the red zone of East Carolina.
Ford bottled up, driven back. This is an inspired defensive line. Xavier McIver was first in there.
Just moving and reestablishing the line of scrimmage. Miles Berry ultimately with the tackle. He was part of their 3-down pressure last year, their 3rd down package. And now in the every play rotation for this East Carolina defense.
Corner blitz picked up. Ritter whips it outside and incomplete. Too hot to handle. He wanted Tyler Scott. It's third down.
Boy, that has been some move for Mike Houston, the head coach, moving Jeremy Lewis to defense from tight end. They got some excellent tight ends, so where were they going to take advantage of the athletic ability of Jeremy Lewis? They put him at that defensive end, kind of slash outside linebacker spot, and he tracked Des Ritter like he was standing still.
Jeremy Lewis is a great high school basketball player. You can see the athleticism. Now he sets up 3rd and 12. There he is, bottom of the formation. This is Ritter to run, trying to help with the field goal situation. Wilson had him first, and now look, after missing a field goal earlier, let's see what Luke Fickell decides to do.
Well, I think he's going to have to kick the field goal here, or attempt it, because the helmet of Des Ritter came off. So he'll have to sit one play, unless maybe they call a timeout, but it did indeed come off. They're going to send the backup, Evan Prater, onto the field in a big 4th down situation here.
They've got the wind, at least for the next minute and a half. Now the play clock is down under 10.
They're going to have to spend the timeout.
Prater's thrown all of 11 passes all year, and with Ritter off the field, ECU is enlivened. That was a big hit on Des Ritter that popped his helmet off. And we'll see what Cincinnati decides to do on 4th and 9. This season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate.
Wilson was another guy who made the last tackle. He was another guy, another player that started his career as a tight end at East Carolina.
Then he moved to safety in 2019. Has become a standout linebacker from Jacksonville, North Carolina, near New Bern.
And you mentioned how much they like to blitz. He's one of their better blitzers.
As you said, with the timeout, Ritter is back into the ball game, so Luke Fickell gets his quarterback back on. They're 12 for 15 on 4th down this year.
And here comes some pressure off the edges.
Yeah, here it comes. They come with 4.5. Ritter to the sideline, incomplete. East Carolina holds.
Kind of felt like coming in that with all the emotion, all the anticipation, you got number 4 coming in Cincinnati, that this East Carolina team would answer the bell, and they certainly have here in the first couple of drives. The defense has stood up and played well, and the offense has marched it down the field. Nice coverage on the back end by McMillan on the sideline there.
Well, you think about the pride this program has in the Steve Logan days.
Yeah.
David Garrard, who was the quarterback when Holton Ahlers was born here in Greenville. A guy like Jeff Blake, who's come through here, and Chris Johnson, and so many others, for a program that has been giant killers at points, as this is knocked down right at the point of attack by Jay Sanders. But this is a team, you talk to Virginia Tech, they've lost to ECU. You talk to North Carolina a couple of years ago, they've lost to ECU. Miami, the year of Hurricane Floyd back in 1999, the game that got moved amid all the flooding here in Greenville. ECU has taken down big name, big situation programs, and they're up 3-0 late first quarter today. Keaton Mitchell runs into Dublanko, Joel Dublanko. It's 3rd down coming up. Now, the one thing we know about Cincinnati is these guys have played a lot of defense together over the course of time.
Well, you just see the constant rotating of players, where I mentioned they'll play upwards of 25, 30 players on defense in and out of the lineup. That's just how they do it, to keep guys fresh, keep them healthy, And when a guy's got to take the field because of an injury, he's not out there wide-eyed.
3rd and 8 for Holton Ahlers. Jones tried to reach back and make the catch, and he could not do it.
He was under pressure, and he had Jones. Jones had found a nice area in which to sit down. Briggs on the pressure forces the ball out of the hands of Ahlers a little bit early and caused the high and outside throw. I'll tell you what, East Carolina on 1st down, they are throwing the football. That first drive, threw it 4 times on 1st down, and then they open this drive by throwing it on 1st down. That'll keep you on your heels a little bit.
Young does get this punt off, and it goes rolling inside the 25-yard line, and that's where Cincinnati will have it late 1st quarter. You saw the Egg Bowl yesterday. Lane Kiffin got a 10th win for Ole Miss, rolling into Saturday. Down here, a big game, UNC and NC State. What do you think of Bedlam tomorrow?
I'm going Oklahoma State in that one because of the defensive experience that they have. Much like Cincinnati, they play a lot of players, but there is a lot of experience, and you don't usually say that when you're talking about a team from the Big 12. It's usually a lot of offense, very little defense, but they've got both sides of the ball cleaned up.
Oklahoma State has got to be ECU fans right now trying to sneak into the college football playoff. This is Montgomery on a 1st down run that goes nowhere. And ECU so far has allowed a total of 52 yards in the 1st quarter for Greenville.
Elijah Morris on the tackle there, and they've really owned the line of scrimmage. ECU is controlling things up front through the 1st quarter.
You hear that siren in the background? It's the upset alert siren. It's going off early. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC station. You're watching college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. Cincinnati 40 points a game, 8th in the country, shut out in the 1st quarter by East Carolina's defense. And the Bearcats, newly into the college football playoff, top 4 this week, have a 2nd down out of the 1st quarter break. Desmond Ridder just a couple completions in that 1st quarter. Here he hooks up with Alec Pierce, who is smothered by Ramsour, and it's 3rd down.
You're talking about a defense that is playing some physical football. I mean, there's nothing extra given up, whether it's the running game or a receiver catching the football. They are stopped right at where they receive it.
They gave up 55 last year to Cincinnati, this ECU defense, in a 3-win season. 3rd down, Ridder loads up to throw. Beautiful ball right down the center of the field for a 1st down to the 49, and Jaden Thompson.
But I mean, that's a dart thrown by Ridder, and he's getting pressure off the edge right in his face where you can see it. He comes all the way back to the right side, and that's where the free rusher was coming from.
That loosens up the run game a little bit with Ryan Montgomery. How about Des Ridder? When he was being recruited, his only FBS offer for a while was Miami of Ohio. The only team that he really talked to with any sincerity was Miami of Ohio. Then he got the offer from Cincinnati very late in the process. As Ridder lobs this ball for Taylor, the tight end, down the sideline. And another brilliant throw gets Cincinnati in. Right on the money.
And this play is made, Jason, because of the air that Ridder puts under the football. It allowed Taylor to regain his balance, track the football, make the catch, and then it's just will to get into the end zone. I mean, it's an excellent throw with air under it where your tight end, Leonard Taylor, can react to it, regain his balance. It's a heck of a catch, and then the effort on the back end is just outstanding.
We're really on the field. Completed pass.
All right, we're going to check and see if replay upholds this. Watch Taylor going down the sideline. Our rules expert, Matt Austin, is with us. Matt, you're at home, you're watching this. What do you see on this play?
I did not see any step out of bounds. And as the runner goes forward, he puts the football right into the pylon, and that's a touchdown.
Well, that's just a heck of an effort on the back end by Taylor. And Ramsor, you want that matchup. It's a mismatch or a matchup that favors the tight ends from Cincinnati, both Wiley and Taylor, who, if you've tuned in early, we've been talking about the two tight ends for Cincinnati since this baby kicked off.
Oh yeah, and this will be confirmed. I agree with Matt Austin here. But talking about Des Ridder, this is a throw that he wouldn't have made back in 2018. He's a 3-star recruit. He wasn't the guy when this coaching
ruling
staff.
on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
There's the confirmation. Touchdown Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder was at Churchill Downs on the Friday of Derby weekend. Miami of Ohio had stopped returning his calls. He got this phone call from Cincinnati. He went into, no joke, a porta-john, took the call. It was Cincinnati with his lone FBS offer. He took it, he came in, he revamped his body, he revamped his skill set, and he's become one of the best quarterbacks in Cincinnati history at 42-5 as a starter.
It's been amazing. The touch, the development, all of it's there, and it has Cincinnati up 7-3 in this one.
Last week, Desmond Ridder took the field on senior day one last time and had his 7-month-old daughter Leighton with him. He told me she looks adorable and in pictures as well, but she is a wild child and you need a lot of energy to keep up with her. He spends 2 hours a week, he told me, in a salt float tank to get re-energized. 1 hour equals 4 hours of sleep, so it comes in handy with a crazy schedule and being the dad of a baby girl.
How about that? Des Ridder has gone through this whole transformation, and his teammates like to have some fun with him. He evidently earlier on this year was on a training table and was sort of dozing off. Some of his teammates took a picture of him, sent it to his family and said, "New dad, new dad." Look, it takes a lot. Number one, to be a Division I and FBS football athlete, but then to be a dad at the same time. Hats off to Des Ridder.
I don't know if you been able to pull that one off. That's a tough deal. You're up late at night and then you're studying for the next opponent. By the way, you're leading the number 4 team in the country along the way.
Yeah, and you're the all-time passing touchdown leader at your school, by the way, passing his coach Gino Gaduli. Now Harris is absolutely stonewalled by Brian Cook. Oh, he just turned him into a tackling dummy.
Yeah, he's a first-year starter, Brian Cook, who stepped in for the talented James Wiggins on the back end. He's mostly a special teams player, but he has stepped up in a major way this year.
Gain of 3. Well, you're right. Cook has won that battle big time. Holton Ahlers on 2nd down, gets it out for Harris, and Sauce Gardner stood him up. So 3rd down, as Gardner isn't just a finesse cover corner either.
That's a great point. You got to be a willing tackler, especially in the boundary side corner where Sauce lives. You're going to get a lot of runs to that side and a lot of stuff immediately in your face. And you've got to be willing to step up and meet it.
Well, he's got to do something. It's gotten to the point where basically nobody throws at him anymore.
Just leave him alone.
ECU can't really afford another 3 and out after Cincinnati marched down the field after their last 3 and out. Ahlers giving ground. He is stood up and he is waxed. Curtis Brooks with the sack.
Boy, they can get pressure with just their front 4 as well as anybody. We saw it earlier in the game happening for East Carolina, where it's not a blitz, it's just the front 4. And all of a sudden, Curtis Brooks, who had a couple of nice plays early in this game, shows up at the doorstep of Holton Ahlers.
So Luke Larson back to punt. Ryan Montgomery to return, and this one just barely gets away. Montgomery, a fair catch. Yes, ECU's defense has played well, but the offense with 4 drives, 3 have not gotten a first down, and Cincinnati trying to add to its lead after this.
College football presented by Arby's on ABC is brought to you by General Mills. This football season, it doesn't matter where you're watching or how you pregame. We are all Tailgate Nation. So let's prep your home field with the ultimate game time game plan, including tasty recipes and savings at wearetailgatenation.com.
Some of the greats who've come through ECU, including Chris Johnson, famed Tennessee Titan. But the one thing this program has not done is beaten a top 5 team. They're 0-10 all time, and here are the keys defensively for them.
Well, you look at the run, stopping the run and check that one, get off the field on 3rd downs, check it, but the explosives are where East Carolina's coming up short. 3 plays of 20 or more yards against this East Carolina defense.
Des Ridder launches, taking a shot for Alec Pierce, who couldn't wait for it, and he's got a first down and goal. He toasted McMillan. First down, Cincinnati.
And right on cue, another explosive, which is what Blake Harrell, their defensive coordinator, told us could not happen. You got receivers running behind the secondary, and with a guy like Desmond Ridder, he is going to find those guys on the back end.
Well, you said it during the break. Take a shot.
Take a shot, and they load up and do it.
Ford is one of the top touchdown makers in the country, and Jerome Ford trying to cut it back inside, driving the legs near the goal line, and he is stopped at about the 2.
He's got 16 rushing touchdowns and averaging about 6 yards a carry. That's unbelievable. Leads the American in rushing touchdowns. Number 3 in a single season at Cincinnati in that category.
7th in the country in rushing touchdowns. The former Alabama Crimson Tide back Ford. One more chance for him, and Easy does it for a Cincinnati touchdown.
Well, it's just an outstanding block by Josh Wiley. We saw one earlier by Leonard Taylor. Well, Wiley, number 81, has one here on this touchdown run by Jerome Ford. Just gets excellent push and opening things up on the right side of the offensive line. And I thought coming into that series of downs, East Carolina could not afford to give up a touchdown, just from the spark the stadium's given to momentum, all of it against this Cincinnati team.
When you think about all those seniors Cincinnati has, the calm that came over them, just about everything went wrong for Cincinnati after the block punt, and they were within 3. Now suddenly they have a 2-score lead.
And just a nice job up front, getting good push by a big offensive line, a good tight end, and Ford's in the end zone to give them a 14-3 lead.
Underway in the American Conference on ESPN Plus tomorrow. Coppin State and ECU, and the Fighting West Millers are home from Monmouth, 2 o'clock Eastern time. You got to have it, ESPNplus.com/AAC. That promo was just a little shorter than Cincinnati's last 2 touchdown drives, which have taken a total of 160 seconds to lead 14-3. And we go to the studio, Kevin Nagandi. Hi, Kevin.
Just wonder if Nebraska's ever going to turn the corner again.
You know, you felt like they were going to. There have been so many, as they said, so many close games. But, you know, you can't build a foundation on close games and losses. As Ehlers on the roll for ECU a little high. And this will be an interesting test of the resiliency of the Pirates here after a couple 3-and-outs.
And this is a team that, we mentioned it, 4 in a row they've won. Ripped off 4 wins in a row. And they haven't faced a team the caliber of Cincinnati along the way, but Yeah, they're playing some pretty good football on both sides of it coming in. See if they get themselves back on track here.
A bunch of close losses this year for ECU, including to South Carolina, but Cincinnati's another beast as Keaton Mitchell gets dropped at the 33-yard line. So it'll be third down coming up.
Already over 1,000 yards is Keaton Mitchell. It's a nice run to get it to third and manageable. Third and short here where you still have the entire playbook open to what you want to do.
You may remember Mitchell's father, Anthony, who was a hero for the Ravens in 2000 in their divisional playoff game against the Titans. They'll bring in Rajay Harris looking for the short yardage for the first down, and it depends on the spot here.
He's going to have it. And just got the signal from the official that it is indeed a first down. Well, they share carries about as equal as any backs in the country. I think they've certainly got the best 1-2 punch in the American. When you talk about those two backs, Mitchell and Harris.
So they avoid the 3 and out here. Holton Ahlers on a short set, and he whistles it incomplete. Second down. He wanted Snead from the slot.
I mean, he just reared back and slung that baby about as hard as he could, and he didn't need to. You want to hit Snead on the move, kind of a little angle route where he starts outside and then comes back in. Can't handle that thing even if it's thrown at the level where he can get his hands up. It's going to ping right off of it.
Well, his middle name's Maddox, and that was not a circle change.
No.
Keaton Mitchell with a gash up the middle, and it's third down and 1 for East Carolina.
They've been able to do that. Consecutive runs for Mitchell, and then they bring Harris in to finish things off to maybe pick up the first down. But he averages about 7 yards a carry. He's got good vision, explosive through the hole, and he's the speed back where we got Harris on the field now. He's the power.
They go out of the gun on a third down and 1, and it's Ahlers who is stood up and dropped by Jabari Taylor. What a play by Taylor, the defensive end, the senior from Akron.
And I think Ahlers had his mind made up he was going to pull it. Because if he gives it to Harris, he's going to pick up the first down. And just well played inside by Jabari Taylor. Both guys, he could have clamped down on Mitchell, on Harris, but I think he would have maybe fallen forward for the first down, but force him to punt here.
Cincinnati gets the ball after halftime, by the way, so that's a big stop for that defense. Montgomery back to return, and he waves for a fair catch at the 11-yard line. So Cincinnati is backed up, and it's time now for today's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Thank you.
What you got for us?
Last non-Power 5 player to win the Heisman Trophy.
I don't know. I think this is because if I'm the answer to this question, then it's not true.
I was so happy when that came up
because the Southwest Conference would have been considered a power conference because Houston is not in a power conference now. That's probably going to be the answer to this question.
When that popped up, I was so excited for how salty you were going to be.
No.
I was so excited.
So you got the answer right there.
I know. I didn't
when
know.
you face Texas, Arkansas, A&M, I think that might qualify as a power 5 conference.
Des Ridder sacked. Rick DeBrew got him at the 6-yard line, the third sack for ECU.
An excellent job up front by this East Carolina defense. And it hadn't just been, as of late, it's been the entire game. That's a third sack in this ball game for this East Carolina defense.
Ford's not going anywhere. Ramsour again. It's like there are 3 Aaron Ramsours on the field in run stopping.
And they've taken care of business through the air as well. Ritter only has 6 completions, but he's averaging over 24 yards per completion. So it's been the explosive plays for Cincinnati where you can't give them up. if you're East Carolina. They're checking every box that they needed to check coming in, except the explosive plays box.
Ritter giving ground. Ritter spun around. He turnstiles away. Des Ritter uncorks down the sideline. What a throw for the first down to Trey Tucker.
What a play by Desmond Ritter. It just buys time until a receiver and Tucker is able to get himself open, and he just rips one. What's the button on the joystick? The C button for spinning?
Yeah, that'll do it. Put him in the old blender. You said it, though. They get a couple stops and then another big play, 24 yards.
I mean, it's just the explosive plays of Cincinnati that has been the story here in the first half. 3 big plays, and that's what's killed this East Carolina defense.
The Cincinnati team has one loss in the last 2 years on a field goal to Georgia last year in bowl season. Ritter on a screen. This is open down the sideline. It is Taylor across the 40-yard line. He had the touchdown earlier, and he was rumbling there to the 44 or so, to the 45.
You just, I mean, it's amazing the talent they have at tight end with Wiley and Taylor. Just simply amazing. I do have another answer for that Aflac question, though.
You do?
Yep.
You don't think it's you anymore?
It may not be. It may be a guy from BYU.
Oh, interesting. Had a brother that played quarterback. Des Ritter drives the ball. This is incomplete. And a marker comes in late. Tyler Scott, the intended target. Malik Fleming may have just gotten flagged for interference.
Tyler Scott on an in route, got position.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 4. 10 yards from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Working against Fleming, got inside position, and that is what brought about the grab. Just kind of holding that shoulder all the way down the field and give Cincinnati a big-time first down across midfield.
Matt Austin, do you like that call? The crowd's booing here.
I do. It was hard to tell if he was slowing down or if the hold took the step away from him, but he definitely slowed him down. And even after he made the cut, I think he had him around the waist a little bit. So I do think it was a good call.
Thank you, Matt. Our rules expert. Happy Thanksgiving to you. We always love having you on our Friday Night Football. Ritter again to the sideline. He has been on the mark one more time. He's got a first down for Tyler Scott. It's 18 that time. 7 straight completions for Ritter.
Runs of 12 or more, or passes of over 20 yards. And Cincinnati has just been stacking them up.
Ritter pulls it again. He wants to go down the sideline. Right on the money to the end zone. That's a touchdown for Alex Pierce. Alec Pierce puts it away, and Cincinnati scores again. 28 yards. Alec Pierce.
Well, that's the second big play that McMillan has given up on the back end to Pierce. And I think Ritter has found something, a matchup in this game that you like. You decide you're going to bring some pressure. You're going to play man-to-man. I'm going to just keep, picking at this area of the field with number 21 in that area. Pierce just climbs the ladder, goes over McMillan, and makes one heck of a play. Just the accuracy of Ritter, though, has been on point here in the first half.
We've talked about it before. Alec Pierce's athleticism. In high school, he went in cold just for fun to run the triple jump, and he won sectionals. I mean, this guy is highly talented, and Pierce bangs the drum fast for the touchdown. Aflac. Let's check our Aflac trivia answer. Who was the last non-Power 5 player to win the Heisman Trophy? And the correct answer is Ty Detmer, BYU.
Yep.
See, all that for nothing, Andre.
All of what?
All what? He said all what? You know all of what?
I gave you the secondary answer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you got salty for no reason.
Oh, I didn't say.
Oh, you sure did. We got it on tape.
Good, replay.
Let's go to Kevin Nagandi. Kevin, get me out of here. Kevin, thank you very much.
Yeah, style points. Luke doesn't like that word, does he?
No,
eye test maybe, but not. He doesn't. He can't stand the word style because he thinks he's got to run it up in order to impress, and that's not something he's willing to do.
But a couple weeks ago, we talked to Luke Fickell about that very thing, and he said, "I grew up in the era of a guy like Jim Tressel, where I learned that that's just wrong. It's not morally right to run up the score like that." And he said it gives him an upset stomach thinking about having to do that.
Yeah, and he plays a lot of players, both on offense and defense. He's not leaving, Des Ridder out there to just throw for touch, whatever it is, however you want to describe it. But they play a lot of players. If the eye test, they don't pass it, so be it in his eyes.
Holden Ehlers down the sideline. Kobe Bryant on the coverage of Omatosho downstairs for Cart.
Yeah, how do you come back when you have Kobe Bryant on one corner and Sauce Gardner on the other? He's one of the top players defensively in the nation. He's never allowed a touchdown pass his entire career. That's over 950 snaps, and I had a chat with him a couple weeks ago. Great kid. He wanted me to know that he takes his school seriously. Dean's List student, honor roll in high school. His mother, Elisa, is his rock. Kept him on track. She worked really hard, long hours in the automobile industry in Michigan. And happy Thanksgiving to Sauce's mom.
Great stuff, Clark.
Yeah, and I mean, don't shortchange Kobe Bryant on the other side because he is equally as talented as Sauce. I mean, you're talking about maybe arguably the two best corners in the country in terms of a tandem in the country on the same team. These guys can cover. They complement one another very well, and they allow this defensive unit to do a lot of things.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that people make assumptions when they're trying to keep Cincinnati out of the college football playoff of what Cincinnati would do against Georgia or against Alabama. When it's on tape, they have won with defense when they've needed to. They won with offense against SMU last week, and they took Georgia to the wire in bowl season.
Again, it's the eye test. Just turn it on and watch this team play. We've talked so much about the tight ends in the trenches defensively. You're calling multiple names. Myjai Sanders, going to be a draft pick. All these guys that we're talking about are going to be NFL draft picks, and that's exactly what Power 5 schools give you. You're getting it from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think in part, we want the college game to have players to stay longer and have guys that form a group and play for their school. And then Cincinnati has everybody come back. Ridder was thinking about dipping his toes into the draft water and working out with Jordan Palmer, and then he came back.
Business.
Right.
Yeah.
And you want guys to come back and win a title. But then you close off the ability for them to win a title with the system, and you wonder what the incentive is. And the incentive is to play together and have fun winning.
Certainly have done that. They passed my eye test where I think they belong. They deserve the shot. And if you don't think so, go back and turn on the bowl game where they played Georgia last year, and that'll tell you all you want to know.
Desmond Ridder is a perfect example for this school and this team as Alec Pierce gets to the outside again, and he's got the 46-yard line at a first down. I mean, Ridder, the way his body has transformed as a player at Cincinnati, the way his game has transformed. He's put on a ton of muscle. He's become a vocal leader. He's a trash talker in practice.
These guys developed under Luke Fickell in this program. I mean, he came in and he was, a wiry-looking kid, and now he's all muscled up and jacked up. The same with a couple of players on the defense, and Ford is.
He just stepped out of 4 tackles basically.
Yes, he did.
For the first down run across the 25, and Cincinnati's trying to put this thing away.
Another excellent block by Josh Wiley, That's what I like about watching this team, is that they're so unselfish. And while he just caught a pass, he just comes down on a kick-out block to open things up for Ford, and the next thing you know, there's another explosive play.
Straight ahead with Ford to the 19. Cincinnati gets the ball out of halftime, by the way. Up 21-3, so, you know, you're measuring style points. This ECU team is 7-4. They've won 4 in a row, and Cincinnati, after being down at the end of the first quarter, is over 300 yards now.
There are a lot of Power 5 schools, trust me, that wish they had a Desmond Ridder or a Josh Wiley or Leonard Taylor, Jerome Ford, a lot of them, Alec Pierce.
Ridder, short set, Pierce again, right at the boundary to the 10-yard line, and Cincinnati has a 1st and goal.
Well, the timing on that play, just the speed out, the ball's in the air before Alec Pierce is even remotely out of his break. So that makes it tough to defend.
Well, it's just so methodical. I mean, this is a team that looks like it's done it a lot.
You got Tucker uncovered in the slot at the top.
Ridder will run, and ECU is on it. Jeremy Lewis with the stop, 2nd and goal.
Lewis peeled back just in time. Otherwise, Ridder's going to have a full head of steam, and he's on the 3rd level of the defense. And I'm not sure, with that big frame at 6'4", 215, that you're going to stop him from getting into the end zone. It's a heck of a job by Lewis. The timing was perfect.
Ridder slings it toward the end zone and incomplete. He wanted Pierce. McMillan was with him, and Alec Pierce couldn't reel it in. 3rd and goal.
Nice job there by McMillan. They feel like it's their best cover man, but he's had his hands full with the larger Pierce today. Ball's thrown on time, and it should have been caught, but McMillan makes a nice play. Let's see if East Carolina can hold up here and force a field goal attempt.
It's the first incompletion in a long time, as you're talking about, for Ridder. It was 10 in a row. It's Wiley in motion, tight to the formation, and Ford on the run. Ford driving the legs, and the ball came loose. McMillan's away with it for East Carolina, and maybe a little life for the Pirates late in the first half. They needed it badly.
Excellent job up front, not really giving, but bending, but don't break. Ford doesn't do that a lot. He doesn't put the ball on the ground a lot. He's hit right on the football. I think it's Xavier Smith that comes up and kind of knocks it out, or maybe Jawan Powell that came up. I think it was Powell that came up, and McMillan with the fumble recovered.
He was on top of a body, so that should be a fumble, and it should be confirmed.
But now what you need points. You need to go down and put something on the board here with 1:15 left. If you can drive the field.
Now the danger is you have Cincinnati, who's 5th in the country in turnover margin. They have ball hawks in the secondary. You have to go for points, but there could be some peril. This could be a free play for Ehlers, and he throws it sideline and incomplete.
Well, if you're C.J. Johnson, you got to see that.
Offside. Defense. Number 21. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
And just adjust your route and take it deep, because Ehlers is thinking that way. You got to look down inside. You see that you've caught the defense off sides. Let's hit a big one.
Holton Ehlers 1 for his last 9, Andre. He's felt some pressure here in the 2nd quarter from Cincinnati's defensive line, and they will run it. So 3 timeouts for ECU. Interesting call on 1st and 5.
Need to take one right here with 3 remaining. Call the timeout. Some points on the board.
So you're gonna
take your time.
You were going to throw it on 1st and 10, and then you run it on 1st and 5? Clock's on the move. Ehlers to run. Ehlers is dropped. Now will Cincinnati use a timeout here?
I certainly would if I'm Cincinnati. Ehlers is slow to get up.
Clock is stopped. Play clock was at 13 on that last snap.
Cincinnati, 30 seconds.
Not sure the strategy in this. I mean, you're trailing. You're not getting the ball out of the locker room. If it's a closer game, maybe, but you need every second that drained off that clock, and you got 3 timeouts. You got to take one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cincinnati just used that timeout. So rivalry weekend here in college football. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. That is tomorrow, and a game of interest for the Cincinnati fans. Saturday Night Football brought to you by Capital One. If Oklahoma State loses that game, Andre, the sun will certainly set on their college football playoff hopes. The plan for the Sooners is to try to make that happen with Oklahoma's season so uneven.
Yeah. Be a good football game. Just believe the defense of Oklahoma State kind of leads the way in that one.
Close game?
I think it's a close game.
3rd and 3 for ECU. Ehlers to throw, short set, and he whips it for Snead to the 25-yard line.
Even now I'd call a timeout. Yeah, you're not rushing up to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, they finally call one.
This didn't seem like there was much of a plan.
Well, when you allowed it to get under a minute without calling a timeout, that had me certainly scratching my head, because you've got 3 of them. And so you get the first down and now call one. You need every second, you need every opportunity to score, and I think maybe enough time went off where you probably allowed 2 plays, which are huge at this point in the game.
Maybe more even.
Right.
Mike Houston is mad at the official for something down there. Maybe he feels like there's contact in the secondary. I don't know the way he was signaling, but he is not a happy camper. The former James Madison head coach, rebuilt Division II Lenore Ryan as well. Here comes Sanders. Ehlers got around him. DeBlanco is in, and there's the sack.
What's the #1 rule in the 2-minute drill, Jason?
Don't take a sack.
Can't
Andre.
take a sack. It's all for naught if you take a sack. Now they're forced to allow the clock to just run down with 2 timeouts in your back pocket.
I would say it might be generous to call that a 2-minute drill. 21-3, your halftime score. After the break, the Capital One halftime report. Kevin Negandhi, Booger McFarland after this. You're watching college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. This is the American Conference on ESPN. Cincinnati is going to the American Conference Championship game next week. Question is, will it be at their place or Houston? And the question is, will they remain unbeaten? They've scored 21 straight points. How have they done it?
Yeah, it's just been explosive plays, gotten behind the secondary of East Carolina. A couple of runs by Desmond Ridder that have been for 20-plus yards. And I thought before that, East Carolina stopping the run, getting off the field on 3rd down, but they're giving up too many explosive plays to a dangerous Cincinnati team.
Desmond Ridder, 243, 12 for 15. Remember, Cincinnati was down 3-0 after a quarter.
Yeah, and a couple of sacks early in this ball game had him rattled a little bit, found his composure. This kind of righted the ship, and you see the work that he put in the first half.
So Desmond Ridder, 42-5 as a starter in his collegiate career. He came in the middle of the UCLA game in 2018, won that game 42 5 cents.
Just been unreal, the run and the success that young man has had, and he's got still some work left to do in 2021.
Tyler Scott upended just across the 15-yard line. Downstairs, Kark, what'd you find out?
What a half, what a career for Desmond Ridder when you think about what he's done at Cincinnati. In that first half, he became the American Conference's all-time leader in total yards. When I spoke to head coach Luke Fickell right at the end of the half, he said Desmond was incredible in terms of the way that he was using his instincts, when to run, when to pass, the deep balls to Alec Pierce. Desmond Ridder is unequivocally the leader of this offense, one of the best players in college football. And Coach Fickell knows he has an ace at the quarterback position. Defensively, Coach Fickell's really thrilled with the defense as a whole. You have the shutdown corners, but he said most of the pressure against Holton Ahlers and East Carolina is coming from the middle, right up the middle, the pressure.
Here they go with Ryan Montgomery on a first down carry. Ridder leading this offense. And Kark, here's a young man who has just totally transformed himself as a person, as a leader, and it's all over his facial expressions and the way he carries himself.
Yeah, it's not just a leader of the offense. He is influence on the other side of the football as well. He is a leader of this program, and when you can get that from the quarterback position, you are well on your way, and I think that's exactly why Luke Fickell and this Cincinnati program has had so much success.
Ridder snaps off a line drive to the 30-yard line for Tucker, and a Cincinnati first down as a marker comes in.
Yeah, maybe a little extra. It may have gotten some of the face mask of Trey Tucker.
Aaron Ramseur came in on the tackles for ECU.
We don't have to help this Cincinnati offense. They are more than capable. I think right at the end of this, Ramseur is just grazed the face mask of Tucker.
Turned him around, first down Cincinnati. Montgomery swinging out of the backfield. That is a forward pass. It is incomplete. Paul downstairs.
Well, Jason, you were talking about how impressive Desmond Ridder's been, and he told me when he decided to come back for his final year, he needed to be different with the way he sees football. For the first time in his career, after games, when the entire offensive staff meet, he goes over the game plan with the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the GAs. He's part of the process. He's the only player on this team that does this. On Sundays, he spends time game planning with the entire staff. This guy's seeing the game at a different level.
Making sure that you get called what you want in the game plan.
Ridder for Wiley and a little bit too much. The rare misstep from Desmond Ridder today.
When you overthrow Wiley, you have overthrown him. All 6'6", 245 pounds of him, and an excellent blocker at that size. And certainly we know what his receiving skills are like with the 6 touchdowns. Just kind of been magical this year in the red zone.
Especially over the last month. He had 2 touchdowns in back-to-back games and 1 more against USF. And now big third down for ECU's defense on a halftime. Barry showing blitz from the linebacker spot. Ridder gets it away quickly, and this is intercepted. Picked off by Warren Saba for ECU.
Not sure that he was just trying to get rid of that.
Ruling on the field. It's an interception recovered by East Carolina.
But it usually takes care of the football a little bit better than what he did in that instance. He's got a crosser coming from underneath. I'm not sure if that's may have been Tyler Scott, but way over his head, falling back on his back foot. The ball sails.
The interception is under further review.
Now, I don't know if the point of the football hit the ground there.
Not sure either, but they're certainly going to take a look at that one.
All right, while Hank Johns and this crew go to replay, we'll step aside. We'll tell you what comes of it when we come back. call on the field stands on the interception. And Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention, and go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. So there's a committee for that as well. Do you need style points for the sauce as well? Holton Ahlers and the offense will run it on first down, and Keaton Mitchell into Cincinnati territory. It'll be second down for ECU, and that with Mitchell we saw from him against Navy on that first drive last week. Couple of gash plays. There's Saba who had the interception.
He's explosive. Mitchell's explosive. Patient runner for such a young player.
Here he goes again, and he is tossed aside by Darian Beavers, another guy who has rebuilt his body here at Cincinnati. Gained 100 pounds since his time at Connecticut, and a lot of that is muscle.
Yeah, he is a different cat now. I mean, looked like he was more of a defensive back than a defense or outside linebacker. Now he certainly looks the part.
Mammoth third down for Ahlers and ECU.
Something positive on this down.
Ahlers for Jones, and he's very close. They're going to give him the first down based on the far side spot.
He has been the one bright spot in the passing game for East Carolina. This is a cat that you can tell has studied up this week and decided, hey, this is my opportunity to have a big week, and got off to a great start early in the first half before things got quiet for East Carolina offensively.
Sixth target for Jones, the former Sooners defensive player before his transfer. This is Harris with a stiff arm and a marker down, and we'll check the flag.
Hold out on the edge against East Carolina.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Yeah, the right guard, Fernando Fry. He's really played well this season. He could have basically got Noah Henderson as well, the right tackle. This is situations where you have to stay out of it. You're trying to battle your way back. You just had a big turnover, trying to get back in the game. And penalties, you can't allow them to take you backwards.
Well, it's neat in motion there like it was arena football. And this is batted backward, and they have not blown it dead yet. Cincinnati trying to pick it up and run into the end zone, and the Bearcats do have it. Back inside the 15, Arquan Bush put the hand along with Myjay Sanders, who got the deflection. Bush tracked it down.
Recovered by Cincinnati. First down.
I gotta believe that this was a pass, it was going forward, a forward pass that was deflected, and then once it hits the ground, it's dead. It's a dead play. Be interested to see what Matt has to say on this.
Yeah, Matt Austin, what do you see?
Well, I agree with Andre. I think the quarterback was throwing this ball forward. The problem is it only traveled a couple feet, so the replay official is going to have to see exactly where the ball was released and where was the ball contacted by the defense. I believe wholeheartedly that was forward, maybe only a few inches, but I do agree once that was batted backwards, hit the ground, should have been an incomplete pass.
Now, Matt, say the arm's coming forward and it's knocked out of the hand before it's released by the passer. What do you have then?
Well, as soon as the quarterback starts his hand forward intentionally, as soon as the hand comes forward under his control, that starts the pass. If it's knocked away at that point, it's still a forward pass.
Yeah, intentionally is that key word, and I think he had every intent
After
to throw
further
this.
review, the quarterback's arm was coming forward and the ball was passed forward. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. Second down, ball replaced at the previous spot.
Now, Matt, let me stand up for your official friends here and your guys, because that's one of those plays where if they had gotten it wrong and blew it dead, we'd be all over them for blowing it dead and killing a touchdown or something like it. So that's the way to officiate that, right?
Yes, and in order to get an immediate recovery, you have to chase the ball, and the ball went a long ways, so that might have come into it also. So yes, it was a good thing to let go.
Matt Austin, ladies and gentlemen, our rules expert, former referee for a long time in the SEC, among other places. Keaton Mitchell on the run, and he is tracked down and dropped once again after not a whole lot. He lost one. Deshaun Pace, who's been very good in pass coverage, there on the run.
And run support as well. This entire secondary and second and third level players have played an outstanding ball game, and you mix what Clark told us coming out of halftime with Coach Fickle, where he believes all the success defensively has started up front. Well, that has just been, they have been in shutdown mode.
Holton Ahlers, local product. Here comes Sanders from the blind side. Myjai Sanders got a hand on him. Ahlers spits it out, and it is incomplete. Boy, Sanders gets such a great jump on the snap.
He did, and I think Holton Ahlers may need to change up his snap count because a lot of guys are starting to time that baby up, but he has got great get off to be as long and as athletic as he is, and goes right around the right tackle, Noah Henderson, and he had a big shot on Ahlers. He just missed it.
And regardless, he ends up aborting the play.
Yeah.
And Montgomery back to receive. It's a fair catch, and Cincinnati will have it from around the 13-yard line. 41 yards, no return. Bearcat football, number 4 in the country. They lead 21-3.
College football presented by Arby's on ABC is brought to you by General Mills. This football season, it doesn't matter where you're watching or how you pregame. We are all Tailgate Nation. So let's prep your home field with the ultimate game time game plan, including tasty recipes and savings at wearetailgatenation.com.
Our wonderful crew celebrating Thanksgiving with
awesome.
our family and their families as well. It takes dozens of people who care deeply about their job to put on football every week for you on Friday nights, and we love our crew. We thank them very much for everything they do for us and for you to have college football every week. Thanksgiving for our friends, as Cincinnati will run it with an empty set.
I think East Carolina was loaded up and knowing once they emptied out with Ford that it was indeed going to be a quarterback run. They played that well. Jeremy Lewis getting himself back in, and that's after Cincinnati's turned it over 2 straight times after 3 really long touchdown drives. So now an opportunity for East Carolina to play some sound defense, maybe get some good field position here if they're able to force a punt.
Question would be, what do they do with that field position with just 87 total yards? Ritter to throw, and he fires on target again for Jaden Thompson. His second grab and a first down. Cincinnati right around the 35.
Well, I tell you what, that is Sunday. That's a Sunday throw if I've ever seen one. An out route, deep out, or comeback along the sideline, and it's on time.
Second down coming up. I mean, again, Des Ritter, Eastern Kentucky was interested. Miami of Ohio, he called a couple times. They said, hey, if our quarterback decommits, maybe we'll think about you. Call back next week. Quarterback decommitted. They stopped returning his calls. And he has become a self-made with some coaching from Luke Fickell and his crew.
He won in that deal.
Yeah, he did.
Big time.
Ford and Cincinnati to the 38-yard line. And that's nothing against a group of 5 team in Miami of Ohio or anybody in the MAC or EKU. But this match with Luke Fickell and this coaching staff and Gino Guidugli has been perfect for Desmond.
Yeah, the development of Desmond Ritter, him putting in the time to not only get things where you know the offense and working with Coach Denbrock the last couple years, but he put in a lot of time, and you're right, it's been a match made in football heaven, so to speak.
Short set for Ritter. He goes through the progressions. Nothing there. Now he fires. Taylor over the shoulder. Had it on his hands, and it's incomplete.
Just mistimed it. If he times that thing, it's a reception along the sideline for some big-time yardage. He just went up a tad bit too early. And East Carolina passing the test. It was after a first down, but they found a way to get themselves off the field. There's still plenty of time. They just got to find the end zone here pretty quick here in the second half.
My question to you is, how do they do that against this defense?
Well, I go back and take a look at the first drive. What did we have success doing early in the game? And that was mixing some short passes with a running game, and I think that's what they've got to go back to. Get the tight end involved and start to target that area.
Time now for the All-State Playoff Predictor as we see what Cincinnati's chances for the college football playoff look like. And in the Playoff Predictor, brought to you by All-State right now, Cincinnati is number 2 according to FPI in the Playoff Predictor.
And you got teams that we mentioned all night. Oklahoma State creeping up from behind. You've got Oklahoma still out of Michigan, who, if they take care of business against Ohio State, has as clear a path as anybody to the playoff.
For more information about each team's chances, check out ESPN.com/All-State Playoff Predictor. Yeah, still a lot to be done. We've seen some teams lose late in the season. Miami against Pittsburgh a couple of years ago. We saw TCU go from 3 all the way down to 6 in a final week. So strange things have happened.
More strange things coming down the road.
That was ominous. Well,
I mean, I just won't believe it until I see it. I mean, it's nice, it's great, and I believe, trust me, you know, I believe Cincinnati deserves a shot. I will believe it when the final rankings come out, if they are able to do what I think they're capable of doing.
Snead put it on the ground. He got hit late by Arquan Bush, and there's going to be a flag, and that's what ECU needed, is some fortune there and a late hit for Bush.
I find myself at times almost trying to shame the committee into doing the right thing.
Well, they're undefeated. They beat Notre Dame.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 9 of the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Just a little bit late, a hair late by Bush. And that's what drew the flag, and a fresh set of downs for East Carolina. Find your running game. Get this big offensive line involved.
So they'll go with Harris on a first down carry. You're talking about the committee, and it's interesting. We talked to Luke Fickell a couple weeks ago before the USF game, and he said, you know, when it gets exhausting is when you feel like you're holding the mantle for everybody. When you're like the group of five's hope. That's when it gets kind of big. Because
it's never happened.
Right.
And nobody's ever been this close at this stage in the game. It's tough. They can only control what's in front of them, and so far they've been able to do that.
21 unanswered. Here is Snead with a marker down. Snead across the 40, stepped out of bounds and took a big hit from Kobe Bryant, which you could also consider late with the step out of bounds.
I think this is going to stand because I think it's offsides.
Defense, number 99. Penalties decline. Resulting play is the first down.
That's a guy that Clark liked on film. Tyler Snead. Not very big, 5'7", 166 pounds, but he is a good little football player where once he gets it in his hands, good things happen. They just haven't had it in his hands enough.
Snead showed up at practice in a big hat and an oversized shirt the other day, and Mike Houston said, "Is that Waldo?" 20 yards, the biggest play of the day for East Carolina. Holton Ahlers gets out of pressure, shovels it away, and has a completion to Omatosho. That was Favre-like. Kark?
You know, Snead's a great story. First time Mike Houston saw him, he thought he looked like his 12-year-old son, and Snead was promised a scholarship by the old staff, and Houston honored the scholarship, but it was just for a year to be honest, when we talked to him, he told us he had doubts about Snead, but he also later said, boy, did he prove me wrong. And he feels Snead's one of the best players in the conference. He's only 5'7", but wow, what a football player.
How about that? Proving to the new coach after Scotty Montgomery brought him in.
Yeah.
I like the way Mike Houston put it to us last year about Snead. He said he could play tag in a phone booth.
Yeah. I mean, he can make you miss is what he means by that. But, you know, sometimes all the guys need is an opportunity to prove it. And that's all Tyler Snead was asking for. And he has certainly proved it. 61 receptions coming in to tonight's ball game, along with 4 touchdowns.
Here he is in motion. Low snap. That was a one-hop snap. I mean, good thing Holton Ahlers played baseball in his history, because that was a ground ball coming in from Jones, and it's 4th down ECU.
He is complaining to the official about maybe Cincinnati simulating the snap count, something, but they're going to have to convert here on 4th down. It's just a couple of plays like that have thrown the timing off on run plays.
Now, a field goal would make it a 2-score game, but ECU loves going for it on 4th down, and they're going to roll the dice, or maybe they won't. Let's see.
4th downs, they're 72% on the year, 23 of 32.
They'll roll him to his left hand, and a high throw reeled in by Omatosho for an ECU 1st down.
That's where you like the catch radius of a guy like Omatosho, because he's a big guy at 6'2". If this is Snead, this is an incompletion. But Omatosho is able to go up the ladder, reel it in, and I think the timing was there. The throw a little bit high, but it's still able. They're still able to convert.
Snead wants to throw it back. He's got Ahlers on the completion, but Cincinnati was waiting for it. Arquan Bush was standing there next to Ahlers on the catch.
Boy, that is a reaction that tells me something is triggered on film, where Bush is able to recognize it. He took a beeline to Ahlers, didn't even flinch. So nobody was fooled. Certainly not number 9. Arquan Bush.
No, it was like he knew what was coming for sure. Harris hit in the backfield. Darian Beavers was in there first, and then he is just ripped down to the ground by Cincinnati, and the crowd doesn't like it. Harris doesn't like it. This is a mean defense the Bearcats have.
Like I said earlier, they play with a lot of players. Beavers is in there. Van Fossen on the other side. DeBlanco, they are talented at that spot on the 2nd level with their linebackers, playmakers across the board.
About 300 starts among them on this defense. Sanders draws a flag. Let's see.
It's hard to do business when you. I think it's going to be Fernando Fry.
Offense, number 66.
It is.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
A holding penalty on Fry, along with a false start. Can't have them.
You look at this defense and you compare them to other FBS defenses that are in the top 5. If you have all these guys back, you're bound to be good.
I mean, you look at it. 2 teams that are going to meet in the American Championship game, Houston and Cincinnati, you know, sitting in there right behind one another.
Now 3rd and 17 for Ahlers. Holton Ahlers down the middle into traffic and incomplete for Snead in the middle of gridlock. Ty Van Fossen was in the area. A couple others were as well. It's 4th down.
And the safety as well, Javon Hicks. Excuse me, Javon Hicks back there in coverage as well. I thought he would have. He had a better shot at catching it than anybody. He made a nice break on the football.
So Owen Daffer, who had the game winner from 54 yards away, he won the game last week, got himself a scholarship after the game as well. He'll boot it from 49. And this is blocked. Cincinnati blocked a punt. They blocked a field goal. It is Hicks who got in there this time, and they keep it an 18-point gain.
Never had a chance. Just right after the hold. Luke Fickell's going
Offside.
off about something.
Defense.
Oh,
the nose
boy.
guard. 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
Wow.
Well, not only is he going to get another shot at it, but another shot from 5 yards closer. Must have been lined up. You got helmets in the neutral zone there. It's close.
All right, Daffer again from 44.
Let's do it again.
Feel like we were just here. This one is on the way, and it is good. It's a 2-score game. 2:18 to go in the third. ECU within 15. Luke Fickell still having his say. All right, let's take a look at today's Crunch Time, brought to you by Cheez-It. It is young Owen Daffer with the game winner from 54 yards away in a darkening Annapolis to put away Navy and get ECU its 4th straight win. And it was just a pleasure talking to Mike Houston, his head coach, about Daffer this week. He said he's something of a free spirit. He's a beach kid from Wilmington, North Carolina, who rides around campus on his skateboard, and that slightly worries the head coach that, you know, don't go too fast on the skateboard, but a young man who has had a big week here at ECU. And this is Scott on the return for Cincinnati. A marker has come in, and when we check on that, we'll go down to Clark. Little post-play shoving.
Almost all the time, these flags come on the receiving team.
Kark has a great story about Owen Daffer. We'll get to it in 1 second after this conversation. That is a hole. So we stuck around. We didn't even hear the call. Isn't that just the way it goes? Kark?
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Well, Owen Daffer last week, we saw that game-winning kick against Navy, and originally they were going to go for a Hail Mary, and they called a timeout, and Holton Ahlers told me he helped convince the coaches to kick it during that timeout, because as a quarterback, sometimes you're off to the side, Andre, you know, and you see the kickers on the other field, and Owen was just drilling these deep shots. He had all the faith in the world that Owen could make that kick, and he did, and convinced the coaches. And afterwards, in the locker room, Coach Mike Houston was waiting for the right moment to put Owen on scholarship. Well, the locker room celebration was the time that scholarship was announced.
Pretty cool. As another marker has come in, Ford on the run. We'll see if this play stands.
Well, those stories never get old, do they?
No, never.
That's awesome. Boy, Cincinnati struggling a little bit offensively here in the last couple of drives. Last 3 drives, 2 turnovers and a punt. Desmond Ritter, 2 for his last 7 with an interception in there after a 12 of 14 start to this game.
Weird quarter. The odd quarters have been strange for Cincinnati tonight.
Struggling a little bit offensively.
A chill has come over Dowdy Ficklen Stadium.
Literally.
In a major way. It feels like Thanksgiving now. Ritter to run. First and forever. Ritter driven back all the way to the 3-yard line. Oh my gosh. Stringer just ran him all the way inside the 5.
Boy, this defense of East Carolina, they have given up a couple of big plays in the form of 21 that led to touchdowns, but everything opposite that, they have been outstanding. Turnovers, tackles for loss, been consistent, just giving up a couple of big plays.
Well, giving forward progress to the 7. 2nd and 21. Desmond Ritter unleashes middle of the field. Incomplete. Will Pauling was the target. Saba on the coverage. It's 3rd and 21.
The closing speed of Warren Saba is what saved that, because the ball was thrown accurately and he was going to have a chance to catch it. This uncorks one, and this is where Desmond Ridder has really improved with his deep ball accuracy. One of the things he wanted to improve on coming in to this year, and he's been able to do it.
He's facing a very game defense, ECU.
And this is where he's got to be careful, Jason, and not forcing something, trying to pick it up and throw a pick.
It's a run for Ridder. He broke one tackle and gets corralled at about the 8-yard line. Miles Berry finished him off. DeBrugge got the first touch. And this ECU defense, which has allowed 27 points after halftime in the last 5 games, that's 5 points a game, held the line again.
They're going to have some excellent field position to start their next drive. They need big points, not the kind that come in the form of field goals. They need to find the end zone.
They'll have it in Cincinnati territory off the fair catch by Snead. Week 12 Monday Night Football, and Russell Wilson back with the Seahawks against the Washington football team that's won a couple in a row and hanging around at the bottom of the NFC playoff picture. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Coverage starts Monday Night Countdown, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Bears were winners yesterday. The Bills throttled the Saints.
Be surprised if Holton Ahlers doesn't take a shot here. Donnie Kirkpatrick, their offensive coordinator, has got a couple of tight ends in, or a tight end in Calhoun with blocks. Not yet.
Yeah, they'll go Mitchell on the run.
It's excellent field position. You're in plus yardage territory to take it. Show the play fake. They've run the ball enough on first down to where they get one of these speedy receivers on the back end in coverage against these corners. At some point, you got to take the shots.
That young man, Holton Ahlers, would love to do it. He grew up here. He grew up wanting to be the ECU quarterback. It's going to have to be his comeback to win it for the Pirates. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Start of the 4th quarter, ECU in search of an upset, trailing by 2 touchdowns to number 4 Cincinnati into the college football playoff rankings in the top 4 this week. And a 2nd down for ECU, and Holton Ahlers on the run on a dive across the 40, and they'll give him about the 39.5, so 3rd down and short.
Fella's got to stay on his feet. Picked up another couple, maybe gotten even closer to the 1st down marker, but it's 4-down territory, I think, here for Coach Houston.
Well, look, ECU's coaches went up to Ahlers at one point. They said, "Why is your sliding so bad? You played baseball." And he said, "I hit dingers.
I
didn't slide." Mitchell trying to drive the pile, and he is pushed back, so it's going to be 4th and 1.5. As you said, ECU loves going for it on 4th down. They've tried the 6th most times in the country.
Mentioned 72% success rate coming into today's ball game, so this is nothing new. They get past midfield, and it's dealer's choice. They're going to use all 4 downs.
Huge 4th down for ECU.
Take a timeout to think about the play call here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you might want those timeouts later.
Yeah, especially trailing the way they are, down 21-6 with 13:46 left.
Next Sunday, the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff matchups. The Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl to be played on New Year's Eve on ESPN. Reese and the guys also have the New Year's 6 bowl games. Final top 25 rankings and a 4-hour special presented by AT&T 5G. Will Cincinnati be in the top 4? We will find out in this play has a very small bit to do with that. On 4th down and 1 for East Carolina, and Holton Ahlers out of their timeout. Ahlers running to throw, and he does have the first down for ECU to the 30-yard line. Josiah Hatfield's first catch gets the sticks moving.
Yeah, he's got a ton of ability, and he's arguably the team's fastest receiver. So they lock up man to man, and he's able to just get a step with Ahlers putting the ball right out in front of him. The drive continues.
They'll split out Jones and the other tight end Calhoun, so they go 4 wide, spread it out. Ahlers throw on the mark for Jones inside the 10, first and goal.
Where have you been, Ryan Jones? Started this game with, a tremendous amount of success, and they put him on ice. Hadn't seen him a bunch, hadn't gotten him to football, but he is obviously one of their better playmakers on the offensive side.
The former Oklahoma Sooner with his 5th grab to lead the team today. First and goal for ECU off their largest gain of the game at 25. They'll empty it out for local product Holton Ahlers. Now Sneed in motion on the catch and run, and he's spiked down at the 2.5. There is a marker.
It's coming back for a hold, and it's an obvious hold.
It's on Jones, if I'm reading lips properly.
Yeah, I think it is Ryan Jones, edge man on the line of scrimmage, and it is pretty obvious. Just losing contact on Sanders and reached out.
Now you got first and goal from the 15 for this power running team.
They've taken a couple of steps forward and about 3 back on the most drives since that first one.
This is a run, and it's Mitchell meeting Darian Beavers.
Beavers, I told you earlier, looked more like a defensive back when he was at UConn, and he has certainly grown into his 6'4" frame. Now packing about 255 pounds on that 6'4" frame.
One of the 6 finalists for the Butkus Award for the best linebacker in the country, Darian Beavers. Second down from the 17. Ahlers too hot to handle on the screen for Mitchell because Myjai Sanders was coming around the bend again.
Yeah, Sanders was coming in with pressure, and Curtis Brooks, who I don't think they've blocked all day, was actually in coverage on Keaton Mitchell, who was in the screen package for East Carolina. You got the big fella running with the speedy back Mitchell.
Can't take the field goal here, so 2-down territory again.
Something here on 3rd down. Let's cut it in half. You throw for the end zone on 4th down.
After the penalty, a loss of 2 and an incompletion, and now Ahlers to throw. He wants the end zone, and it's knocked away in the end zone to set up 4th down. Sauce Gardner was over there with Jones.
Such a sound player. Just plays with a tremendous amount of passion. And just plays it perfectly. Go ahead and take a field goal because maybe they need one later in the ball game. So get it to a point where it's, you knock this through 21-9.
That is some pretty wishful thinking.
Time's not on their side for sure. That was
blocked. Cincinnati has blocked 3 kicks, and this is going all the way back with Sauce Gardner to the house. Arquan Bush blocked the field goal, and Sauce took it home.
And it never seemed like East Carolina was lined up. All of a sudden, you look at Daffer, who is just kind of going through his routine. and the ball's been snapped. So he's got to rush. The holder, John Young, he's got to rush. And it allowed Bush to come free. I don't think anybody was ready for the snap. Got quick snap. Bush was ready. And certainly Sauce was ready.
That's Sauce with a scoop and score, by the way. Sauce on the scoop. And for the second time in as many games in this building, Sauce Gardner has a return touchdown to come close to putting a game away for Cincinnati. They will talk for a while about the decision to kick on a day when they've had multiple blocks. Cincinnati takes advantage.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats.
What we've learned today is our crew can absolutely put food away. I mean, we have 2 full sets of pictures of our crew eating on Thanksgiving, which is top-notch stuff. I mean, our crew versus Joey Chestnut is a coin flip, I think. We love our crew. We thank them very much for putting on television every week with us. And
couldn't do it without them.
No. We would be way lost without them. We just walk in, put on headsets, and talk for a little while. They do the hard work. You saw Arquan Bush, who blocked the field goal. Sauce Gardner took it home. Cincinnati has expanded the lead to 28-6. And that penalty was just mammoth for ECU that drove them back from their first and goal all the way back to the 17-yard line. And we go to the studio. Happy Thanksgiving, Kevin Nagandi. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Booger. It'll be an interesting one down the road apiece in the Tar Heel State as Holton Ahlers goes for Harris on that first catch of this drive and a gain of 6. But some separation for Cincinnati, and I think what you get, like 6 or 7 style points for a blocked field goal for a touchdown.
No, it just proves that they're a complete team in all 3 phases of the game. On offense, we've seen them do some magical things defensively, obviously, and then now you sprinkle in a couple of blocks on a punt and a field goal. I'll let you know they're complete across the board.
This is a playoff team for you, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is, and I think they deserve the right to play in it, provided that they take care of business next week in the conference championship game. But there's no doubt in my mind that they are, and I think they proved that they belonged last year in that battle with Georgia in the bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, that came down to the wire. Cincinnati led late, and Georgia's field goal as time wound down ended up getting the Bulldogs a win, and Snead gets tossed to the 50-yard line by Sauce Gardner.
Cincinnati they led most of that game until very late.
Hey, Luke Fickell's on the graphic now because he's in the top 4. He made it to stand next to Nick Saban, arms folded.
He's got to close his eyes when that graphic comes up.
That's
this weekend.
Does Nick Saban have any thoughts on expectations, by the way, on that graphic? Or?
Oh, yeah.
First down for ECU, and Ahlers down the middle. In stride, Snead inside the 15-yard line. Now here's the ECU offense kicking up some dust.
And that's who we asked for to get the football to. Tyler Snead, Ryan Jones in the last couple of possessions. Holton Ahlers has been able to do that. You see why Snead leads this team in receptions.
Gardner is down after the tackle down there. It is Sauce Gardner who is injured for Cincinnati, and he is up on his feet now as we step aside with ECU driving. Watch Sauce Gardner on the right side of your screen, coming left to right.
I think it's Tyvon Fawcett who, a little friendly fire from a teammate.
Gardner comes off. We will check in with Park on an update when he has one. Ahlers on the money on the skinny post, and a touchdown for ECU. Josiah Hatfield on the score.
That's a well-thrown ball because it protects Hatfield and allows him to make a clean catch. He threw it low on purpose, away from the defenders, but also to protect Hatfield. We have a ball game. We got a lot of time left. 38. And here comes East Carolina. Well, that's an excellent throw. Excellent throw.
Can I ask you a question? Play devil's advocate on something here.
Yeah.
If you had that play for 12 yards and a touchdown, and you're down 2 scores, why wouldn't you run that on 4th and goal from the 17 and try and get in with it? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I know it's a different situation. I know 4th and goal is dangerous, but
I get it.
3's not 6.
Scratched my head a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, the reason it's important is Cincinnati is that good of a team that if you give away opportunities or you don't play on the margin as accurately as you could,
right,
you eat it. Tonight, the Continental Tire Challenge. Number 5 Duke, number 1 Gonzaga at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on ESPN and the app. One app, one tap. You and I both watched Gonzaga the other night.
They looked good the other night. Woo.
And one
hard to believe they could look better than they did last year.
Right? But you never know.
It seems that way.
One note as well, as we were watching that game, you were watching it, a lot of people were watching it. It was so wonderful to see Dick Vitale back courtside.
Absolutely.
Just a wonderful human being, full of life. Great to see him at the game, and he was so choked up by being there. To love what he does as much as he does. We are wishing for the best for Dick Vitale in his recovery, and they're going to onside kick here, by the way. ECU set up to take a look at a possible onside kick, and they do just boot it short. So ECU will see Cincinnati have it at the 35.
What's going to help them if they're going to move up in the rankings? It's going to have to be style points.
Triplet. Guess who's got it for the touchdown? Desmond Ritter.
We want to see Cincinnati dominate.
Pocket collapsing, and down he goes.
Most people believe that Cincinnati needs style points to convince and impress that committee.
And the full arsenal on display for Cincinnati.
Andre, after this play, I have a question for you.
I don't know if I have agreed with that.
Yeah, what are style points?
Who knows what style points are? What's the difference between style points and the eye test? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is it? You got to blow people out, or I don't understand exactly what style points are in reference to the eye test. I don't know the difference.
It's going to come back. It's a hold against Cincinnati. So my question to you is, how hard is it to win all of your games in college football?
Very, especially when you're the target. You know, you're not sneaking up on anybody. They haven't lost a regular season game in 2 years. So people know they're coming. I mean, we saw how crazy this place was tonight at the start of kickoff. It's that way every single week when Cincinnati's either at home or they trot out onto the road. So it's tough to win football games, especially in the manner in which they're doing it. Ranked number 4 in the country.
Alec Pierce at the 35, met immediately by Jeremy Lewis.
Because everybody wants to make their season off you.
Yep.
You know, East Carolina wins tonight. That's 8 wins as opposed to going 7 and 5. You know, it's you know a better conference record, and then you knocked off number 4 Cincinnati. Everybody every week thinks that way.
Yeah, it's the one game where you can make your biggest mark on college football.
You're everybody's bowl game every week. That's got to count for some kind of style.
Right back there, I love it. Ford on the run to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Cincinnati. So Cincinnati, as a group of 5 flag bearer, is the best version of a group of 5 team in terms of the chance to make the college football playoff because of that win at Notre Dame.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. 2020, they're 9-0. 2021, regular season, they're still undefeated. on a huge win on their resume against Notre Dame, number 9 Notre Dame. What else they need to do?
Ritter, pump fake, down the middle. He did not get the completion.
Well, Taylor could not.
Yeah, Taylor had it in his hands.
Couldn't hang on to it. Never really possessed it long enough. The replay officials will take a look at this. Nope, never really had control. But what it does is force a punt, and East Carolina is going to get it back again with more than enough time. 7:42 to go down and maybe put another one on the board and draw even closer.
They just had their best drive of the game on that touchdown drive, and Cincinnati has just 3 first downs this second half. Snead back to receive, waving for a fair catch at the 21. ECU needs 2 scores to tie or take the lead. 7 and change to go from Greenville. Chilly rivalry weekend in college football. Our Saturday triple-header on ABC ends with Bedlam for the 116th time, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Cowboys are already in the Big 12 championship game. The Sooners need a win to get in. So big Bedlam coming up from Stillwater. And right now, ECU trying to come back against Cincinnati, down a couple of scores. Holton Ahlers, and that is picked off. Intercepted by Beavers. He threw it right to him.
I mean, stared it down the entire time. Still goes in there, and Mr. Beavers comes up with an interception. His first of the season. He just stares at, and that big 0 is looking right in his face mask. He decides to force a ball into Snead anyway. There's about 3 defenders around Snead. Now, if you're Cincinnati, this is the time to attack the end zone. Where's Alec Pierce? He's been quiet as of late.
Didn't know we here on ABC had the rights to air Leave It to Beavers, but here it is. Friday night after Thanksgiving. Des Ritter hit as he throws to the sideline, and incomplete. We talked about the transformation of the body of Darian Beavers from Connecticut to here in Cincinnati, and this is a massive change.
Yeah, that's a defensive back going to outside linebacker, defensive line type of transformation.
Wild.
That's crazy.
I'd be screaming too if I went from that to that.
Hey, get under some weights, big cat.
Yeah, okay. All right. You can lift a fork pretty good. We learned that yesterday.
That's a start.
Here is Pierce. You asked for him. There he is. Alec Pierce backing his way into a first and goal. Kark, I shudder to toss it to you. I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, you all need to get on that weight plan. But anyway, Brady Collins is a strength and conditioning coordinator at Cincinnati. I was talking to him in the third quarter. I said, what are you doing with these guys? He said, they eat a lot. They work their tails off, and genetics. And Beavers isn't the only one gaining weight. The transformation of Desmond Ritter from freshman year to now, he looks like a different person in terms of his weight, his strength. And Majay Sanders put on 65 pounds in this program too. So kudos to Collins and that strength staff.
So eating is part of it, though, you just said, right?
Yeah, you got that one covered, but not the weight.
Yeah, the genetics, too, I think might be a little bit of a problem.
No, but these guys come into this program, and here's Desmond Ritter. They come into this program 2 stars, 3 stars, and by the time they're developed, at the end of it, they are playing like 4 and 5 stars. I mean, that's a huge transformation for Desmond Ritter.
Man, both those guys, I mean,
that's amazing.
Great stuff, Kark, down there on the sideline. Des Ritter, 299 yards. He set the Cincinnati all-time touchdown pass record a couple of weeks ago against USF, passing his coach, Gino Gaduli. Ritter to Wiley off the juggle, and we'll see if he did have possession. He did. He's out of bounds. By the way, we asked Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, about Gino Guidugli getting passed by Ritter, and the coaches punished him and made him bring coffee all week after Ritter broke his record. They said, if you're not going to throw more touchdown passes while you're playing, you're going to bring us coffee.
Yeah, you got to bring coffee when he passes him up. You got Desmond Ritter to thank for that.
Gino Guidugli helped bridge the gap into the Big East for Cincinnati. He went to 3 bowl games. Very talented quarterback. They've had some good ones here. Tony Pike, among others. Zach Collaros. Ritter picked off. Oh, a rare interception for the second time in the game. Saba ripped it off, and that was right to him.
Well, they won't go quietly into the night, will they? I mean, in these sharp black uniforms tonight, East Carolina just continuing to hang around. And Saba just reading the eyes kind of the same way or in the same manner that Darian Beavers did to Holton Ahlers. Just kind of trailing or just waiting and waiting, watching the eyes of Ritter. And when he brought the arm back, he went ahead and made the break on the football.
I mean, Des Ritter came into this game with 6 interceptions all year. He's thrown 2 of them today, and it's the 3rd turnover for Cincinnati.
That's a touchback, right?
It is a touchback.
You know where I'm going.
You want it?
I can't leave it
to be uniform.
I cannot leave it alone. It needs to be uniform. Across the board, any touchback comes out to the 25-yard line or the 20. I'll take either one, 20 or 25, but don't give me both.
You're part of the touchback lobby.
I'm always lobbying.
Yeah, you are.
Like it.
Talking directly to the committee a couple weeks ago. Do you lose style points for a pick in the end zone, Andre?
There we go with it. The style points.
I don't know. I just figured you were vulnerable with the touchback stuff. I started needling and see what happens. ECU was going to have a 3rd down and about 6 on that catch by Omatosho.
Really needing to convert here on 3rd down. You don't want the pressure of having to deliver on 4th down on this end of the field. At least get it extremely close where it's an easy conversion on 4th down.
How about what Luke Fickell's done, by the way? First year, 4-8.
Oh, it's a heck of a program he has built.
Holton Ahlers loads up down the sideline against Kobe Bryant, and he put it right on the hands of Hatfield. ECU still ticking.
Boy, that's just climbing the ladder, going up and getting one if you're Hatfield. Josiah Hatfield just wanted it a little bit more. And with that, he's going to reward his team with a fresh set of downs.
Holton Ahlers still trying to push ECU down the field. Born and raised here in Greenville. Ahlers hit, and down he goes. Joel Dublanco is first.
You got to throw it away. Just throw it away and live with the result. Come back on 2nd down. But to take a sack just adds momentum. You're now behind the down and distance markers. He is too experienced not to have thrown that one away.
You can see him trying to make a play and how important this game is to him.
They need to hurry up. I mean, time's not on their side if they're going to get back in this thing.
We've said that a couple times today for ECU. Sanders got a great jump again, and Ahlers down the middle and incomplete. Cart
being told that Sauce Gardner has bruised ribs by the Cincinnati sideline, and he just looks uncomfortable. You see him kind of moving around and kind of tweaking and trying to contort his body, his upper body in a certain way to try to stay loose, but he just doesn't look himself, and he's a tough young man. He was a wide receiver in high school, he told me, but nothing's like being a corner. You're out on an island one-on-one. He loves that attention. He loves that challenge.
I almost think he's trying to bait Ahlers into throwing at him.
Ahlers scanning. Ahlers down the middle, and a big hit dislodges the ball. Brian Cook with the play on Omatosho, and it's 4th down.
Brian Cook has had a couple of big plays, but another The pressure being brought on by Curtis Brooks, who I don't know if that young man's been blocked a full play yet in this game. They talk about the games that Sauce plays in practice, how much he loves to have fun. Wouldn't surprise me if he's trying to bait Ahlers into throwing his way.
Yeah, he's always in control over there on that island.
No doubt. If he's on the field, he's healthy enough to go.
Ahlers meets Sanders. He got blindsided. Ball's down to the ground, and Cincinnati's going to have it one way or another. Jabari Taylor got in there, and the ball ends up with Marcus Brown, and Holton Ahlers was under siege that time.
I don't know that there are two better defensive linemen that I've seen this year that are better than Brooks and Jabari Taylor. I mean, both guys have had a tremendous ball game here right in front of us.
When Holton Ahlers was born, it was November 10th, 1999. The first ECU football game he was on the planet for was an ECU win over Cincinnati, 48-34. This is a very different Cincinnati team that young man is facing tonight as the quarterback for East Carolina, and the Bearcats have shown so much ability to be resilient in this game, especially this defense.
So we're going to turn around and give it to the car here to try to run this thing out to Jerome Ford. Let him drive it for a little while.
There's not much of a chance for the old Denver Buddha, Jerome Ford. He's quite the successful touchdown maker for Cincinnati. It'd be interesting to see Cincinnati and Houston next week in that American Conference Championship game. Two very strong defenses as we take a look at today's hardest working player. It's brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Cincinnati and Alec Pierce.
Just been magical on the other end of Desmond Ritter's passes. Made a tough touchdown catch for his first touchdown, and then this kid he's so dependable. You can go to him on money downs, third down situations, and he always seems to come through for this offense.
His dad played football at Northwestern. His mom was a volleyball player at Northwestern, both Wildcat alumni. Alec played basketball, football. One of those guys that you could basically put anywhere.
He had volleyball scholarships as well.
That's right.
He was so talented as a volleyball player, and I was down on the field before the game. He's well put together, and I asked Coach Denbrock, is he getting looks from the scouts? And he goes, oh yeah, he's going to have a chance to play on the next level. There's no doubt.
Like Glenbard West in the Chicago area as Ford has a first down to the 27 for Cincinnati. So if Cincinnati ends up beating Houston next week in the American Conference Championship, what percentage would you put on the Bearcats to make the college football playoff?
I still have to see it to believe it. I'm just kind of one of those. I don't care what percentage who FBI and everybody else comes up with. I've got to see it because I've just been, in disbelief of what comes out of the room in the final pairing. Yep. So I got to see it to believe it. I believed Cincinnati's done everything they need to do to get there. Just got to see it happen.
Here's another run for Cincinnati, and this should be worth a couple style points into the 2-yard line. Ryan Montgomery, first and goal for the Bearcats. By the way, you said FPI, not FBI.
FPI.
You would believe it if the FBI.
Yeah, they need to investigate.
Sure that.
If Cincinnati's not in it, but no, the FPI.
Look, this Bearcats team has done everything everybody's asked of them. They went to Notre Dame. They won. Alec Pierce had a huge game in South Bend. They won that game on the road. They were undefeated in the regular season last year. First time they finished undefeated in a regular season since 2009, as this is a touchdown for Montgomery. Cincinnati in one more time. That last 12-0 regular season for Cincinnati before this one that's coming was Brian Kelly's final year. For some symmetry for you,
just the ability up front to move bodies, and they've got a full complement of running backs. Charles McClellan, who hadn't really carried the ball tonight, he is another, along with Montgomery, that sub in for Jerome Ford. So they're equipped at that position, tight end, wide receivers, and certainly at quarterback. They get a matchup next week against another top 25 team in the Houston Cougars. So that'll be a good one.
35-13 your score. Hey, on ESPN Plus, sign up at espnplus.com/AAC. Got college basketball, Coppin State at Minges Coliseum to take on ECU tomorrow. And then Monmouth at Cincinnati. The Bearcats, by the way, and Wes Miller with a 20-point win over Illinois. They did fall to Arkansas for their first loss the other day, but a big win against the Illini.
Attractive to the Big 12. Cincinnati, the football program rolling. Now the basketball program. They've always been tough, all the way back to the days of Nick Van Exel.
Wow, look at that. You got any more Bob Huggins guys that you want to drop here? Bobby Brannon.
There you go.
Yeah. 35-13 Cincinnati. This will likely be our final. It's our final regular season game together. And we will see you next week for a conference championship game as well. And then in bowl season, big games tomorrow as well as Bedlam happens. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, 2 top 10 teams. Oregon in that big rivalry game against the Beavers.
I think that'll be a sneaky good game. North Carolina State.
Yep.
It'll be a good one. State's defense playing some pretty good football. Brown, what's he have up his sleeve for the final regular season game?
Well, you know how much alumni care about that NC State game.
No doubt.
That's just about to go over on ESPN, by the way. I was going to say, it's been a pleasure covering football with you gentlemen. Paul downstairs,
as well, my man.
Andre up here.
A lot of fun this year.
Yeah, Matt Austin, who just loves the touchback conversation. So great to have Matt with us as well, back at home. We enjoy bringing you football. And we enjoy Matt Austin. He's a wonderful guy, does a great job with the rules. Matt, do you have any thoughts, final thoughts on the touchback discussion that you'd care to share with us?
How does he pull you into that, Matt?
No comment.
No comment.
I'm behind Andre all the way.
There you go.
Oh.
We see eye to eye.
Come on.
That? Love you, Matt.
I prefer off the record Matt Austin to on the record Matt Austin. Matt, it's been a pleasure sharing these games with you, though. You do a fantastic job. We love having you around.
Thank you. I've had a lot of fun.
I still prefer off the record Matt Austin. As Mason Garcia has checked in to play quarterback for ECU and Mitchell on the run. It'll be a first down for East Carolina. This is clearly a team that's trending up, though, after the coaching change from Scotty Montgomery. Ruffin McNeil was let go before him. And look, Mike Houston has done a really nice job rebuilding here.
Yeah, the winning streak, the 4-game winning streak, that's going to come to an end, but it's against, obviously one of the better teams in the country, and number 4 Cincinnati. So a tough one, even with it being at home. There was some good points in this game for East Carolina and some things in which to build on.
Yeah, what I like about Cincinnati, Andre, and tell me if you think I'm off base here, but there are some games where their defense has to win the game.
Yeah.
And there are other games like last week against SMU where the offense just blew the doors off the opponents.
They can get it done in a variety of ways, and special teams will take over, as they did tonight with a couple of blocks and one block for field goal for a touchdown. It's a complete win. Offensively, over 450, up close to 450 yards. Ritter threw for 300 plus. Defensively, holding ECU to just 13 points, 4 sacks and an interception. And then special teams, as I mentioned, a block punt, a block field goal, and a touchdown. So they can get it done across the board. If you're looking for a team that needs to pass your eye test, this is one.
Yeah, they've done everything everybody's asked of them. If they beat Houston next week and they're not in the college football playoff, I would call it a travesty.
Just call me.
Well, but I know what you're going to say.
Well, call me and hear it again.
You just don't think it's going to. You don't think it's going to happen until it happens.
Yes,
because it's never happened.
Partly that's a fault in my personality, but the other is the realist. That when it comes to the playoff, I have got to see it from a Group 5 team to believe it.
Which is fair. Totally fair. I'm an eternal optimist. I think it's going to happen.
If it happens, I'm calling you.
Okay. I'll wait by my phone. 4th down and 1 for East Carolina. Couple more plays left in this ball game. ECU will head to its first bowl game since 2014. But a huge game for Cincinnati next week. What's your early handicapping on how Cincinnati-Houston goes?
You see all the way down the line how evenly matched this is. And we know Houston can obviously play defense. Cincinnati can't turn the ball over the way they did tonight, or they're going to find themselves playing catch-up to Houston. That's going to be a tough football game. But with it being in Cincinnati, you'd obviously favor the Bearcats, but they turn it over. Houston comes after them. They can score with anybody. They can run the football with McCaskill healthy. He is a dimension at running back for Houston that they didn't have earlier in the season. So it's going to be a tough one for Cincinnati.
Cincinnati will go into that 12-0. Luke Fickell, we've asked him multiple times, are you enjoying it? He said, I need to enjoy it more. Well, he can enjoy a 12-0 regular season for Cincinnati. Number 4 wins again. The Bearcats douse their coach. He'll be freezing on the bus. For Paul Carcaterra, for Andre Ware, our entire wonderful crew, I'm Jason Benetti. So long from Greenville, North Carolina. Cincinnati wins.